Okay, this is a quick tutorial on SketchUp and Cura. So you're going to need both of those programs. In my case, I'm using SketchUp 2016, but it really doesn't matter. I mean, it's going to be basically the same. And Cura, I think the latest version is 4.10, but again, it's not important. It's pretty much the same. So we're going to open up SketchUp. And here it is. When you first open it up, you're going to see this lady here. Her sole purpose is to give you scale. We're going to be making a ring, so we certainly don't need something that's 5 feet tall in the foreground. So we're going to get rid of her. Just use the select tool up here on the very first tool, and then just hit delete on your keyboard. Now, since we're making a ring, we are going to need a circle, right? So if you look at these tools up here, from left to right, you have select, eraser, line, arc. The next one is shapes. And though the shape shown right here is a circle on mine, on yours it might not be. It might be a square. And in that instance, you'd have to click this drop down and you'd have to click on the circle. Okay? When SketchUp does circles, it does them by radius, not diameter. So if you need a 12 millimeter circle, you would put 6 millimeters into the where I'm going to show you here, so that it makes your circle a 12 millimeter. But before we do that, we're going to, especially when you're doing something like this, like a ring or something that's super simple, I always go up here to camera. And you can change the camera views. Right now you're kind of looking at it from the side. But if you go to standard views, you can pick top, and now it's going to just show us dead center on our project. Okay. So we now want to pick circle. So here we have the circle tool. And basically it's going to snap to the center. See it snap to it. And we're going to hold the left mouse key and pull that out and just let go. Okay. Now if you look down in the corner, the right corner, it says radius 2031 millimeters. That's not even close to what we want. In my situation, I happen to know that my index finger is 19.2 millimeters around. So half of that would be 9.6. So after you made this circle, as long as you don't touch anything, just type in the dimension you want your circle to be, so that it's going to be 9.6, enter, and it now just made it the size we wanted. You can't see it, right? Because remember when we started out, our foreground scale was the size of that lady. So if you go up to your tools again, from left to right, go all the way down here, and you're going to see two different magnifying glasses. The one on the left will let you zoom in on your own. The one on the right will just zoom right to your model. That's the one we want. Okay. So now, if you look at this, you're going to see it looks like it's got polys, right? It's got all these square lines, and we don't want that. We want it to be a perfect circle. So as long as you didn't touch any other buttons on your keyboard, if you type in how many sides you want this to have, I always just default to 500, so I type 500. And if you look down in the corner again, where it says radius, 500, and then the letter S, and just hit enter, it'll get rid of all of those, if you can see that. Okay? So now we're going to go to the other. Now you see my cursor moving around here. This is the one we just used to zoom into our model. Oh, excuse me. Now if we go to the other one, I just want to zoom out a little bit. Okay? So we did that. Okay, so now this is the inside diameter of our ring. How thick do we want our ring to be? Well, this one you're going to use one of these. So this is a caliper. Okay? And it's basically just measures things. That's all it does. It's like a, small things, but it does it very, very precisely. So let's just say we want our ring 5 millimeters thick. So if you can read that, see it says 5, it says 5.1, whatever. And now I'm looking at this thickness, and that's a good thickness for a ring. So we're now going to come back over to our model, and we're going to choose the offset tool. So from left to right, you're going to go down here to the offset tool. Now if you notice, whenever I highlight a tool, it tells me what it is, so you don't have to remember all this. So just, if you know, offset is basically the thickness of the object that you're creating. So We click on that. And now watch when I hover over this circle, the inside of the circle turns blue. And you see this little red line on the outside there, that little red, that's telling us that that is the offset start point. Okay, so now I'm going to click left click and move my mouse until this bottom corner, the right corner again, that's where all your information is going to be, says 5. Now I stopped it at 4 on purpose, just to show you, as long as you don't touch any other buttons, now I can make it 5 and hit enter, and it'll automatically make that for me, okay? So we'll do that one more time. Edit. We're going to undo it. Oh, and that's another thing. So edit, you can undo your last moves. Anyway, so okay, so we're going to do the offset again, right? This time we'll make it 3 millimeters. So you click on your left click and drag it out. And this time I made it 5. If you look at the bottom, it says 5 millimeters. But I wanted it 3. As long as you don't touch any other buttons and you hit 3 and enter, it'll automatically make it that way. So, okay. So now we're pretty much done with the model, viewing it top on, because now we want to pull it. We want to make it an actual ring. So, first of all, we want to get rid of this middle part, because this middle part was really just to get us our inside diameter, right? So just click, highlight it until it turns blue, and click delete. Now, from our tools again, we're going to go to the rotate tool, or orbit it's called, and we're just going to do this, and I'll show you why here in a second. Now we want the thickness of our ring. So if you look at my ring, for example, right? So this ring happens to be, let's see here, 9.8 millimeters. If you look here at my, okay. So I'm going to do that. So we're going to make it 9.8. How are we going to do that? Well, we need to pull it to 9.8, right? So just like you would think, there is actually a push-pull tool. So starting from left to right again, go to your push-pull tool, click on that. And now when you go down here, the same thing is going to happen. You see how when I hit that face turns blue? That means that is our face that is going to be pulled. And this is wonderful. I think this is so great. So you hold your left mouse button down and drag your mouse as far as you want, and it'll make it however tall. So let's just make it 10 millimeters. Let go. Now, what if you wanted it 8? As long as you don't touch any other buttons, you could hit 8 and enter, and it'll make it 8. Okay, so that is it. So let's just say this is the ring that we wanted. It's perfect. Love it. Now we want to save it so that we can put it on our 3D printer. So we go over to File, and we don't click Save like you would think. Saving it would actually save it as a SketchUp model, but we need to export it as an STL, a stereolithograph file, because that is what the next piece of software is going to look for to slice your project in for your 3D printer. So you go down here to Export STL. Click on Export. I always click everything to the desktop. It just makes it easier for me. I arrange it later. So we'll name that ring with 2 G's just because I already had one named ring on there. So, okay. So now it's there. So we're going to get out of this now. And now we're going to open up Cura that I told you should have. So when I open up Cura, it's going to do its thing here. And basically what Cura is takes your 3D model that you just made in SketchUp, and it literally slices it, slice by slice by slice. You know, sometimes there's thousands of slices to build it up, because your 3D printer is literally just putting layer upon layer upon layer until you amass the project that you are, your end product. So here's Cura opened up. In my situation, it's already set up for the Ender 3. If yours isn't, what you need to do is go to Settings, Printer, Add Printer, Add Non-Network Printer, and now you're going to go down to Creality. That's the, where is it? Creality. Okay. And then the Ender 3 or Ender, whatever you happen to have. In this situation, I have the Ender 3. So. So here, okay. So anyway, so now we have a blank canvas here, and we need to import the file, the ring file that we just created on in SketchUp. So now we just hit File, Open File, and as long as I click on Desktop, it's only going to show me, since it's only looking for supported files, it's only going to show me really the ones that I can open. So we want to do ring with 2 G's, remember? So we click on that, and it's going to pop it in here. So this is now what our printer is going to print. And when I hit Slice, I'm going to show you exactly what your 3D printer sees in this software. So you hit Slice, and it's literally slicing that like 0.4 millimeters at a time. If you hit Preview, you can actually see what your printer is going to see. So if you start at the top here and go down, you can look as it slowly, it's actually going to start from here and go up, but this is what your printer is going to do. It's actually layer by layer by layer. It's fascinating, really, that this is even a thing. It is fascinating. So okay, so we're done with that. Now we want to save this to disk. Now my my computer has a slot for an SD card. Let me go grab. I'll show you what that looks like. So my computer has a slot for an SD card. So, but only these large ones. The Ender takes these really tiny. All right, let me see if I have one in here. I'm sure I do. Oh, there we go. They take these really tiny cards. I swear I have one here. Hold on. They take these really teeny tiny cards. The ones we're accustomed to. So I bought a couple of these adapters. You can get these on Amazon, so that I can put it into my computer, because my computer only takes these large cards. And then you put it into the computer, and when you do that, instead of seeing Save to Disk right here, you're going to see Save to Removable. Okay, so if we save that to Removable, we'll hit that. File saved, eject. Now I'm going to take this over to my, well, you're not going to have one of these yet, but you're going to take your little card over to your 3D printer. Before you turn it on, you're going to plug this into your SD card spot. Now when you turn your printer on, you're going to see in the menu, Print from TF card. So you use your wheel, you go down to Print from TF, and in there is going to be listed your files that you've created if you have more than one. So you're going to click on Ring, and that's it, and it'll do the rest. So hopefully that's helpful. If not, ask questions. All right, see ya.